Have you ever heard of Hector Thrane, the very first Grandmaster of the First Legion, the warriors who would one day be known as the Dark Angels? Before the Primarchs were found, before the name Dark Angels echoed across the stars, the First Legion had a living legend, a symbol of conquest and fury, Hector Thrane. He wasn't some angel cast from the stars. He was forged in the fires of old Earth, a Terran-born warrior who fought side by side with the Emperor himself during the bloody days of the Unification Wars. In the year 668 M30 at the Battle of Samarkand, Thrane led 10,000 Astartes, the very first true Space Marine army, against 200,000 Uduk-Hul, monstrous gene-forged slave soldiers of the great king of Akkad. These creatures had poison for blood and strength that dwarfed any unaugmented man. 10 hours of battle, a shattered city, annihilated enemies, and the severed head of the great king of Akkad hung from Thrane's belt. That day he was granted a title, the left hand of the Emperor, his most fearsome instrument of war. But glory breeds pride, and pride dulls reason. In the early years of the Great Crusade, the First Legion encountered a xeno-species never before recorded, wielding technology beyond human comprehension. Thrane's forces were crushed in the initial assault. Brothers fell, the Legion broke, their reputation was stained. Thrane was furious. He returned to that cursed world, Canis Baylor, and personally led a second assault. Once more, the First Legion dove headlong into the abyss, but this time, there was no triumph. As the battle lines collapsed and the alien tide surged forward, Thrane realized the bitter truth. It was his own arrogance that had brought the First Legion to the brink of annihilation, so he gave the order, retreat. Then, without complaint, without hesitation, Thrane and his honor guard stood their ground. They became the living shield, the last wall between death and their escaping brothers. One by one, they fell, dying not in shame, but in loyalty. Canis Baylor was destroyed soon after by Exterminatus. The First Legion survived, but Hector Thrane, the first Grandmaster, the Emperor's iron left hand, never returned.